Alright, we're going to talk a little bit about some of the bikes I got here. These are all my personal daily riders, my grocery getters, my long road trip bikes, my bar hoppers, my baggers, you name it. It's all wrapped up into these bikes. A little bit about me with what I do with teaching a high school class, and I'm a real, I got a vintage bike addiction, I call it, and I got a blog that says vintage bike addiction. But for me, the history and the antique and the old style motorcycles really, they get me excited. I see an old bike in a parking lot, I'll spend an hour looking it over at all the parts, seeing what's original, what's been modified, and kind of get a feel for the bike. And I could see 100 brand new shiny billet barges, and I walk by and I'm like, no, there's another one of them. But see an old rusty or greasy knuckle or a pan or a shovel, and it's like, oh, hey, what's that? So this bike here, believe it or not, 2 years ago was all fresh, restored, rebuild. We did this as one of our side projects in the class, and it's an original 1947 bull neck frame. Bull neck being up in here in your neck, it's a certain kind of a rare neck style that Harley used only in 46 and 47 years. And it's original frame. It needed some repair work. Irish Rich did some repair work out of it out of Colorado. The front end is an original Harley offset springer, they call it. And offset is because you don't have your fork legs here in line with the neck stem. This is actually set back a little bit, and what it does is it changes the rake and the angle of your front end. So with the bull neck frame, you needed that to kind of compensate. And I know they ran them on, I think, Survey cars and some sidecar bikes, but the 47 Knuckle had it for a number of years up until the late model. The last couple production 47s went to a standard style neck after that. So I collected those two parts. I found a motor, a set of cases from a guy in Chicago. Original set, 47, clean, never been molested or blown up. Clean title, 47 cases, FLs, 74-inch. So once I had the frame, the front end, and the lower end, it was kind of game on to just start collecting parts, get this thing built. And I didn't want to use a lot of aftermarket parts. If I did have to use something that wasn't original, I wanted to make it myself, like the floorboards and whatnot, and different things like that. I fabricate for my own little touch. It's kind of like a rolling advertising when I'm driving to events and whatnot. People ask where can they get something like that, and it gives me an excuse to give them a business card. But the motor itself is pretty much all OEM. Internally flywheels and everything, 74-inch flywheels. Lee's Speed Shop in Prior Lake, Minnesota here, he's my master with motors, and I give that guy an old knuckle or pan and he'll whip it up back into shape. And this bike here, believe it or not, like I said, 2 summers ago was when it was fresh off my lift, rebuilt, and I've already got almost 12,000 miles on this bike. So I've been riding the piss out of it, and it's holding up. This is my long haul bike. I rode to Sturgis last year, no problems. Rode it to Tennessee and back last summer, which was about 1,500 miles each way, and no chase trucks, no trailers, just me, this backpack with a sleeping bag and a bottle of Advil, and away we went. But anyway, so I got the motor to Lee. He rebuilt it. I found some original heads. These actually came from Donnie Smith. I was talking with Donnie Smith one day, and just kind of let him know to put the word out. I needed a set of original 47 knuckle heads, and lo and behold, he says, "Oh, geez, I got a set I've been looking at every day. I pull in my garage. I'll never use." So he sold me the heads. Got those rebuilt by Lee over there, and motor went together. Original Linkert carb. I bumped it up to an M74B, which is more of a later model pan carb, but it gives you a little more fuel flow. And he did a little bit of tweaking of the internal, so she runs good. It's not a dog by far. With that carburetor, I got the Linkert M74B. This is actually a hand cast brass air cleaner that came. The cover came from Lyle Landstrom, a Landstrom foundry. He's in Upper Minnesota here. Real nice guy. He casts out of his place up there, and he's been to my high school chopper class to see what the kids are doing, and he's always at the Donnie Smith show. But he does some real neat one-off quality work, and if anybody wants something cool, do a little web search for Landstrom Foundry, and he does a lot of Indian air cleaners, a lot of old individual unique kind of stuff like this rocket one. So, and the kicker came from Fabricator Kevin, good friend of mine. He's got access to a laser cutter, so that laser can cut through some nice thick brass here real cleanly. And I talked to him about it. He had one that was the fuck pedal, and I asked if we could modify the fuck and just put a KN for the knuck, and he did it. And I guess he called me once to say somebody wanted to buy one if it was alright with me. So there's two of them out there in the world right now that we know of, but I got the first, so.